Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns postgame show with the final score 1,420 for the Ravens and 6 for the Browns. Here's the deal. I mean, for a long time, we've been watching this, and honestly, I mean, we can joke about it, whatever. It makes no difference. The look on Stefanski's face is the same look that was on Butch Davis's face. 1 week, he knows where he is now. He knows what it is and how far behind he is, and now you got injuries on top of it. Jedrick Wills is just not the TV announcers. I don't really like the fact that they don't report things. You have to find things out on your own. But they didn't show him being carried off the field. In essence, he was barely putting any weight on his leg. He's gone for Thursday and probably thereafter. Number 1 draft pick down. He'll probably be no factor whatsoever, like every other first-round draft pick that the Browns seem to pick. And we've got players who don't fit with the system, or the system that doesn't fit with the players right now. I still don't understand how KhaDarel Hodge can possibly be ahead of Higgins on the depth roster, but that's the way it is, because obviously they don't want people who can run patterns and catch balls. They want people who just stand around and do nothing. Hi to everybody in the chat room. Good to see a lot of familiar names. We got Big Lurker UK, Moo. We got Mogambi, Moo. You got DG, my people. Well, I wouldn't go that far. He's not worse than Freddie Kitchens. There's Keyblade. There's Rick. I sound like Miss Barbara on Romper Room, don't I? And there's Bronk. And there's Tony the Calf and Amsterdam. These are just people in the chat room. Hey, Just Stop Dude. Nice to have you back with us again another season. I enjoy. Brian Hibbs, thanks for coming back to the post-game show. This is the halftime show is a little differently paced. This I have a more sober attitude toward, because it's been, so many years I've had to watch this. This is, we'll start here, Brian. OBJ is so average. Don't know why superstars play down to the lowest denominator and with the Browns. It isn't, I would dismiss him from the team. He's bad. He's got a bad attitude. I'm sick of him shaking his head and all the bad body language. And then I'm open the one time I am open, and I'm rolling my eyes in my head. Why didn't I get the ball? I'm very tired of Odell Beckham, and I want him off the team. And you're right. It's Andre Rison relived. And the reason that the Giants got sick of him, and everybody would get sick of him except if he were really playing on a team that was going to win a Super Bowl, and then he'd give them one good season, but then in the offseason, he would give them grief. So he has that going for him. There is no game to report on here. This is a professional team playing a high school team. It's sad and it's unfortunate. It's what we have literally put together in Cleveland for the last God knows how many years. And a couple things are obvious. 1, receivers weren't open. 2, Baker Mayfield does not have consistent accuracy with the receivers on this team, and the system, obviously, he's not real sure about. 3, that he won't be the starting quarterback for long if he plays like this. 4, the running game never becomes featured because they're down so quickly. 5, the defense that they never seem to shore up in the offseason. The fact that we went in having no linebackers, we come out having no linebackers, and, same thing with the safety position. And of course, the guy that we do draft number 1, who probably Delpit would be a bust in the NFL anyway, because all of our picks don't seem to do as well I sit and I watch a team like the Ravens, and they just, Calais Campbell and people that just keep getting fed into their system, and they're monsters. And we have nobody. We have nothing to show for our draft picks. We have fucking Harrison Bryant, like we needed another tight end. We have no pass rusher to complement Myles Garrett, who was easily, neutralized in the game anyway. And then, the rookie offensive tackles, carried off the field in the first week of the season. Why Baker Mayfield was even in the game at the end of the game, I have no idea. This notion of, we don't give up. Something, there is something called common sense. And I said it in the halftime show, but I'll be more serious about it this time. A loss is a loss. And you knew at halftime you'd lost the game. And if you come out in the third quarter and you come out with a good run, then there's something. But if not, you get your starters out of the game because you got to play again on Thursday. And, this notion of, we didn't want to give the impression that we'd given up. Well, they did give up in the end because nobody wants to get hurt. They should not be on the field. They should test all the depth chart and let guys play. So if somebody's going to come off the field grabbing themselves in the leg or the Achilles or whatever, it's not going to be one of our pivotal starters because we have to play on Thursday. We will not beat the Bengals. We will not. I will repeat, we will not beat the Bengals. We will not beat the Bengals because we have nobody in our secondary. We have nobody to rush the passer. And I don't care if Joe Burrow was playing against Whistler's mother. The fact of the matter is that the Cleveland Browns right now are shell-shocked. We have the veteran guys on the team, so it's more of this shit. You got OBJ with that shit. You got Nick Chubb, who fumbles a ball, who's fighting for yardage because he's trying too hard, trying to get an extra 2 yards in a game that was over. So he's down. Everyone on the team is down. Stefanski has this look on his face because he realizes the depth of the waters that he's in. Seibert, the kicker, is Seibert. I'm sorry. The kicker is nobody. He's a guy who's psyched out. And once that happens to a kicker, it's over for a kicker. And you could see that it was almost like the psychological crushing blow of bonging that extra point off of the goalpost. He just doesn't have it. He's broken. And you're going to see this throughout the season with the Cleveland Browns because they get broken down all the time. And there's no chance to succeed, especially this season when there was no preseason to run any of the new install of the offense. And, Baker Mayfield, it wasn't that he had bad protection. It was that for the most part, people weren't really open. And you look and you say, well, how hard is it to cover if you're paying attention to OBJ, and he's going to complain like a whiny little bitch anyway, and then you're gonna look at Landry, who's not going to hurt anybody deep. He's going to do a few crossing patterns, but you're going to go ahead and where's the speed? You got nothing at wide receiver beyond that. You got a bunch of slow tight ends on the field, and your running game is just not gone anywhere. So, what can I tell you? 38-6. My predicted score was 37-13. We didn't even score as many points as I thought we would score. But we gave up as many as I figured we would. And the only reason we didn't give up more is the game was decided so much earlier. And, and this is what it comes down to. He's confident. Lamar Jackson is confident. He's playing in a system that he knows. His receivers help him. Baker Mayfield, I'm beginning to think, is not popular with his teammates. I'm beginning to think that they have lost any interest in him because whenever he's back in the pocket, there is nobody. They're just trotting down the field. I mean, I'm looking at the wide receivers for the Ravens, and they're coming back to help the quarterback. Nothing at all for Mayfield. They're just kind of going through the motions of running their patterns. They're not open. And there was no separation there. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, we ran one screen pass that got dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. What's, new about that? Nothing. I don't know what to tell you. There is no solution, as far as I'm concerned, to the Cleveland Browns organization as long as Jimmy Haslam owns it, because you're going to continue to have this musical chairs thing going on. And the people who are assessing talent are not good at it. The Ravens, on the other hand, had a seamless transition from Ozzie Newsome to their new general manager. And the fact of the matter is that their drafts just keep getting better and they keep adding meaningful players to the mix. And then you choose a guy like Lamar Jackson and you use him the way he was meant to be used. And in his rookie year, that was predominantly let him run and let your team run. And now he's gained confidence and he is an accurate thrower. This is one of the two best teams in the National Football League. And it showed today. And they were playing one of the worst football teams in the National Football League who are just not ready to play. Now, again, what I would tell you about Stefanski is what I told you before the game, which is you're going to find out how good of a coach he is just by what happens from this week on forward. How long will the players go out in the field, and when will they actually just flat out give up? And will he lose the team completely, or will there be a concerted effort to win in one of these games? We're going to find out about what kind of handle he has on the team. But this is a very difficult thing. And I saw one of their linebackers, Phillips, was off the field, injured. There's no depth. And it looks to me like Joe Burrow is going to be able to pick them apart if he just stares down one receiver. We don't know what we're doing in coverage. We're not even around the ball. And then the few times we were around the ball, did you see where Lamar Jackson was throwing passes and Andrews was catching them, where nobody else could catch them but the receivers, even down on the goal line on the incomplete pass? The guy really broke a little bit late. That ball was thrown early so that the only person who could have made a play on that ball was the wide receiver. And on the other hand, Baker Mayfield goes back to pass. He's throwing the ball behind people, and that leads to tips, interceptions, and mistakes. So it's it's I see people arguing in the chat room. That's why I'm laughing. We'll let Brian in here, but don't scream, okay? Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, Clay Campbell's a big guy, and we made him look twice as big, didn't we?
Yeah, and who knew he could be a fucking middle linebacker?
Well, I mean, that is the clever concept defensively of,
Wink Martindale
dropping a man back into a situation and Baker just not seeing it. And this is a problem we started seeing last year. There were players in the line of sight that Baker should be able to anticipate, but he's not seeing them. And that's going to be a major problem. Hey, Atlanta Browns fan, how you doing? I agree with you. Lots of work to do, and we didn't have time to do the work prior to the season. But this is exactly what I thought it would be, and I think that you're going to be seeing more people saying things, about Baker Mayfield as the season progresses. You got to be able to pick up new systems, and we're going to see, because right now it doesn't look like he knows who to throw to, and he was double clutching again. So it looks to be a very
once again, we've got guys that they're trying to play this system, but nobody knows what the fuck routes they're actually supposed to be running when the defense is actually trying to stop them.
Yeah,
just going, Olay, we're gonna make the offense look good.
Yeah. Hi, Steven. How you doing? Go ahead.
It's almost like which one was that? Heartbreak Ridge, when he changed it when Clint Eastwood takes over the recon unit, and they do the same fucking thing over and over again to make the Major's troops look good. Well, then all of a sudden, once Clint Eastwood says, "No, we're not doing that. We're just going to ambush the shit out of them." And they get slaughtered. You know?
Yeah, I mean, what you're going to get is a quarterback controversy because Keenum at least understands how the offense is supposed to work. And right now, I did not see, any indication that Baker Mayfield has any understanding of this, nor do I see any sign that anybody on the field has bonded with Baker Mayfield over time and wants to play with him. And this is starting to look like other circumstances I've seen with Cleveland where, the players have given up on somebody. And if he doesn't come back and do better against the Cincinnati Bengals, there's going to be people screaming for his head by the end of week 2. And that's not a good situation. Money never sleeps. How you doing? The O-line horrible, Baker still shit, and the defense a round pile of shit. I mean, I don't think the O-line is horrible, but I do think that the defense really looked bad, and Woods is going to have to do something about this because, and I don't think he has the pieces to do a whole hell of a lot. No, Keenum is not a savior for anything.
However, he did win he actually won a playoff game, and the Browns can't even get to the playoffs. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah. Hey, Sega Geek, how you doing? Yeah, we wait for a long time in between these programs, but nothing changes on the field, does it? And this is it has screwed him up, Mark. I have no doubt that having to go through this constant change of things and the lack of confidence that the quarterback, it instills in a quarterback that there's nothing that becomes natural, right down to his footwork in the offseason. There's everything that they did is to throw more confusion at Baker Mayfield. And unfortunately, once you get off to that bad start, it is very difficult to turn it around in the NFL. And DG, yeah, well, and that's the problem. Obviously, Higgins has alienated every coaching staff he's played for, but that seems to be the only guy who has bonded with him, and he is not to be found on the field. And this is the bottom line. Year after year, draft after draft, we don't get what we need. And, this is not an isolated thing. Everybody is either moving forwards or backwards. You can't be standing still or else you're going backwards as well. And good teams, usually, if they have good management, will get better players because they have more efficiency. And you can go by analytics. You can go by whatever it is. The Browns constantly change their opinion about, but seeing is believing, and whatever the Ravens are doing, I'll have some of what they're having. They took Marquise Brown, and Marquise Brown was a guy that he had foot problems, and people questioned that, but now, boy, he sure looked good today. He was quick pushing off with that foot, and he was getting open and great speed, good separation. And, the Browns secondary can't stay with them. There's not much speed to win in those one-on-one situations. And that's it. 119-1, Rick. 119-1. That we never have a good thing to talk about after the first week, and we put ourselves in a hole, and it starts this avalanche of negativity, but not just amongst the fans, amongst the players. What we're going to hear is, no, we haven't given up, and we're going to go out there and we're going to give, but realistically, it's already in their head. And you can see just the total listlessness and the lack of identity of the team. And, I got this for Kevin Stefanski, no bark, no bite. So that's what we have this year. No bark, no bite. I'm just looking at comments here. He did. He's a child. He's literally a child, and the team is better off without him. Honestly, he is just a distraction. That's what he is. And I don't think that having him on the team in any way, shape, or form makes Jarvis Landry a better player or anyone around him a better player. And of course, he had to start Baker. I mean, let's not get stupid here. You didn't bring Case Keenum here to start week one. Let's be serious.
However, when it was 31-6, I think they should have pulled him for no other reason than
I agree. Why let him get hurt?
Let's spare him from getting hurt. Maybe Keenum gets a field goal attempt or something. But goddamn.
Yeah. So Andrews and Snead. Well, Snead's not a tight end. Andrews is, and they got open.
Boyle is the other tight end.
Tight end, right? And so that's what that is. I don't.
Willie Snead, another Browns cast off.
Yeah, and Willie Snead is a guy who really isn't going to beat you with his speed either, but he found crevices, and there's plenty of them. The Browns are losing track. Their secondary guys are losing track of where they're at, and they're standing still, getting caught looking into the backfield, staring at Lamar Jackson or whoever. And guys who are experienced receivers like Mark Andrews and Willie Snead will sneak into those crevices, and the ball will be put right on them. And again, it's chemistry between the quarterback and the receiver to know when to do what, and we just don't have any of that. Hi, Mark Lewis, how you doing?
Well, Hooper was on the field.
Yeah,
unfortunately he was doing a lot more blocking than he was route running, but he did catch, I think, 2 or 3 passes.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing? Got a ticket on a runaway train. Yeah, that brings back all kinds of happy memories, doesn't it? And let's get Tony in here. Tony the Calf, what in the hell?
Both of our teams shit the fucking bed today, eh?
Yeah, boy, but I'll tell you, the way your team shit the bed is really worse, because I knew we were going to get blasted. But how do you let old Aaron Rodgers do that to you? What the fuck?
Our team is completely overrated. They are not what everybody hypes them up to be. I think we're no better than 6-10 at best. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, you live by the Cousins, you die by the Cousins. And,
right.
I
think this is more like kissing cousins.
Or worse yet, coming into one's own.
Good coaches like Kevin Stefanski, and yes, he's a good coach. Cleveland, don't judge him off of one game. I know Cleveland has a tendency to do that, so just wanted to warn everybody. But they make up and they cover for Mike Zimmer, who is a lousy fucking coach.
Well, I don't think that Stefanski's a bad coach. He just hasn't had time to install anything and practice it. And it's unfortunate because we have a quarterback whose career hangs in the balance, and his confidence is looking shot to me. Hey, Sega Geek, what's up?
Oh, not much, man.
All right.
Yeah, his confidence is shot. I agree with you there. But the other thing, too, is, again, Odell Beckham Jr., he's not a fit for this West Coast offense system at all. Not.
Well, I think he cares more about getting shit on than playing football.
Becky, you're losing sight of the big picture. Why wouldn't you bring Keenum here to start? Because he's not a starting quarterback, nor has he really ever been. He's a backup, and he's a nice backup, but he doesn't have the arm strength, and he doesn't have, he has the knowledge of this offense, yes. But if you brought Keenum here to start, then basically what you're doing is you're condemning the team to a sub-mediocre quarterback for the next, and then Stefanski will lose his job. So you
Did
can't
anybody
do that.
watch Keenum in Washington?
Yeah, I mean,
can we stop, as fans, stop fucking judging Case Keenum off of one fucking game in the playoffs where it was a miracle win For God's sake, I hear it all the time in Minnesota. Should have kept Keenum. Should have kept Keenum. And now I got to hear about it with the fucking Browns. It's getting goddamn irritating. He sucks. He'll always suck.
You know,
Wouldn't say he sucks. He's a marginally average quarterback that can win like 2 or 3 games, but he's not a guy who's gonna be a full-time starter. He's a Josh McCown or a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's important to have a backup who has game experience rather than having Gilbert Gottfried run out on the field going, Brian Hibbs, we lost after the missed field goal. Not really. I think that Seibert lost it after his missed field goal. You could see him just holding his head on the sidelines, and they're going to have to bring kickers into camp because I'm sitting there reading stories and talking to people about how he's psyched out of the dog pound end of the Cleveland Stadium. He's weak mentally, and we can't have that. You know,
they have one on the practice squad.
Have one kicker, do they?
Yeah,
they need to really start, because to me, if a guy's having trouble with one end of the field in their home stadium, and then they got to screw loose up here, and this is the problem. And we're not doing real well with Oklahoma guys. That's what I can say. And no, we're not complaining about the refs today because the refs didn't determine the outcome of the game. Just the quality of the teams did, and that's all I guess you can really ask for when all is said and done. Bring Becky on the show. Hey, you want the link? The link is up.
It's in the description for the show.
If you're watching the show on YouTube and you have the show description, just look there. There's a link. Click on that link and you get right into the show. So I'm not keeping anybody out of the show, but people have to figure out how it works because I can't do it for them. And Sendejo, I don't know what to make of that. He also got beat deep by Marquise Brown and no closing speed there. I don't know. It's because we have a lack of quality talent at that position. That guy's even able to play and has that much time out on the field. It's a big problem.
Sendejo is the guy who was here in Minnesota, sucked in coverage, sucked in fucking pass protection or route running and keeping up with receivers. But boy, howdy, if he gets a chance to put a licking on a guy, he'll put a licking on a guy. And he's decent in special teams. That's
so in narrow space. He's a hitter in narrow space. But I mean, how does he end up mano a mano with Marquise Brown is what I want to know. I mean, there's something that's not adding up in that. I
think you're going to see number 33 very quickly.
I
That's
don't know.
The guy they just signed, but I think by the second half of the Bengals game, 33 is going to be replacing 23.
Yeah. Does anybody have any information on Jedrick Wills on what might have happened? They didn't even announce it on the air until after I had already read it online. Nor did they show the play in which it happened. So I don't have a good idea whether he bent his leg back, what the story is with that. That's going to be a real problem because if you have Lamb playing, at the left tackle position against the Bengals, you got a problem.
All I heard was Jim Donovan on the radio cast say that he wasn't putting much weight on it.
And we're getting some input from Big Lurker, the Stefanski, saying that he and Baker not on the same page. Yeah, well, I mean, this is the way it's been. And there's nothing there. There's no chemistry, and there's nothing between the receivers and the quarterback. And there won't ever be with Odell Beckham unless you throw him the ball every time. So, not a real good situation. Here comes Bronk from England. How you doing, Bronk?
No. Can I invoke the BCOD for Jimmy Haslam? I think I'm too old for this shit. Same shit.
I don't even know where he is. I don't even know where
don't
he
tell me
is.
the BCOD can't even watch this shit anymore.
No, he split. I don't know where he is, honestly. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I could get his B, let's get rid of Haslam.
He's looking for the Bengals game.
There he is.
There he is. Hey, look who's joining us. DG. Hey, DG.
My people. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. I just wanted. How's everybody else doing? Tony, Brian? I forgot who else we got on. But all that other crap we saw today. I mean, how did you not know that this was going to happen?
Well, to be fair, it's not like they had a preseason to really gel this year anyways, and this is a completely new system that they're learning. Technically, if you kind of want to go with that.
Well, I mean, I understand. And who am I talking to that just said that?
Sega Geek.
Sega Geek.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we go through this all the time. We always know, I've been a Browns fan for at least 30 years. And I'm not saying that, I have more of an insight than you do, but I kind of have a sense to know when this shit is going downhill.
Yeah. I've been a Browns fan for 20. I know what you mean.
Okay.
I'm just trying to look for something.
I understand what you're saying. I understand that. But you can tell that these guys just don't have it.
The defense was putrid in every way.
I don't know what the hell Joe Woods was thinking about or doing. I mean, where is Myles Garrett? Where is Olivier Vernon? Where is... It seems like Ogunjobi was probably the only one that showed up today. And 23 is terrible.
Didn't Garrett recover a fumble and did some stuff?
Ogunjobi caused that fumble, I think.
Yeah. Let me see. When did Njoku hurt his knee? I'm sorry, Daniel. I mean, go ahead.
He probably heard it on that jump catch.
Nice catch.
The 20-something yard jump catch.
Yep. That's probably where he heard it.
Hey, Gemini, how you doing?
I think the part that's really insulting, though, is they had on Jagotu as like a third string tight end, and he was like the only guy who actually showed up for the offense today.
Isn't that something?
Yep.
He shouldn't have been a third string to begin with. That was just ridiculous.
Two defensive backs had the 2 sacks. Adrian Claiborne and Javier Thomas, who
that number 20 one. Number 20 wasn't it?
Yeah, number 20.
Yeah.
He's played, up to this point, he's played like 16 snaps of defense up until today. 16 snaps. He's a special teamer.
Yeah, Big Lurker UK, keep feeding us any information coming from the presser after the game, because we can't do that here ourselves, and I greatly appreciate you putting this stuff up. Obviously, Stefanski knows how far behind they are. If he didn't before, he does now. And with no time to prepare a game plan for the Cincinnati Bengals, it's going to be a very, very possible 0-2 start. And if the Browns lose to the Bengals, boy, you're going to be hearing a lot of bloody screams. A lot of bloody screams.
And that was going to be my next question. What happens Friday morning if they fuck around and lose to Cincinnati?
I don't think anything's going to happen per se. I think that, at this point, I think that if they lose to Cincinnati, that you're going to see a big tank season. I mean, that's what I believe.
That's what my question was. I'm not calling for anyone's job or anything like that. I'm just wondering, what happens to you saw Nick Chubb after he dropped the football. What happens to him after they lose? What happens to, I think we all know what's going to happen to Odell after they lose. What happens to a Jarvis Landry? What happens to a Miles Davis, and so on and so forth, man. Where did you go?
Miles Davis, I agree.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah.
That's all right. I'd rather see Miles Davis.
What happens?
At least he can play.
Hell, I'd rather see Chuck Mangione, and he was no Miles Davis.
Oh, but Chuck felt so good, though. He really
Yes,
felt
he
really
really
good.
did. As long as he kept
felt
his
good.
bald head covered with that silly hat, he was
Speaking
fine.
of which, man, he was always high. If you go onto YouTube, there's some hilarious Chuck Mangione higher than a kite trying to interview things.
And
You guys
obviously,
understand, though? I mean, what happened?
We understand,
man. Here we go again, you know? And
yeah.
it doesn't matter. You know something, DG? I'll tell you, if you've lived in the United States of America for the last year, you know, then you know that none of it matters. None of it matters.
Well,
you can't let it matter, because if it does matter, it's going to do nothing but beat your brains in. It doesn't matter. The Browns don't matter. They're irrelevant, because if the players are not schooled in a system, you know, or there is no system or whatever, it's like, whatever. It's an argument that will never be solved, because A, we're not in a position to solve it, and B, the person who is putting all of this chaos on the field is the owner of the team, and this is the way he wants it.
Did you guys go ahead, man? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we've all reached the point now where it's like, well, normally this would infuriate us. It's happened so many times now. It's just starting to become hilarious.
Yes, I don't even get mad anymore.
No, I don't consider it hilarious. I consider it. I mean, I didn't watch the fourth quarter. I was doing some floor exercises, and you know, this is it. I mean, this comes and it goes. Sunday comes and it goes. Thursday night will come and it goes, and it doesn't really mean anything to me, because I report on it and I do a program with it.
Oh my God! Somebody out in San Francisco just got like a 90-yard pass play, but it was mostly a run play.
Didn't Jacksonville win today?
Yeah, Jacksonville won. They beat the Colts.
Can you believe it? Jesus.
The Raiders came back to beat Carolina in Carolina.
And the Bears actually won, and Mitch Trubisky's probably worse than Baker Mayfield.
Are you kidding? They were behind.
They were behind. Yeah, the Bears won.
Look at this, but look at this shit though. We get whooped 38-6.
The Bills showed us to play today.
Do you guys remember a play to where I think it was number 20? Lamar Jackson let go of a bad pass, and there were like 3 Browns defenders.
Yeah, and he batted the ball down.
He batted that shit down.
But you know, Sendejo was there, you know, and waiting for the ball instead of coming to the ball. So why couldn't they run into each other and injure one another? The Indians do it all the time.
Yeah, you need to do a Sendejo comment on that play using the maniac accent.
No, it's the Peter Alice commentary. Oh, 3 men around the ball, oh, and the one man knocks it down away from the other one. You know, I'm amazed he didn't tip it up in the air, and the damn Raven caught it and going in the end zone.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson would have caught it.
Oh, what about that Odell Beckham play where like it hit him and it flew up in the air, and instead of him trying to make an effort to catch it, he just like half-ass tries to swipe the ball away, but he doesn't.
That was a lot.
And the
of
guy
effort
almost
on
picked
his.
off the entire pass.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many plays through the years. I'm just immune to it, really. You know, right now we have the remnants of this, you know, this damn hurricane, and it's been raining here all day. It's been a really dreary day, and something is just killing my sinuses from an allergic perspective. I live next to a golf course. I think the grass pollen has gone like absolutely haywire. So I'm just kind of staring at my TV screen, and I can't get excited about this because, yeah. And for Stefanski, you take a job, and this, you know, this is the way it is. You know, you took a job in an analytics-based team with an owner who is a meddler who wanted analytics in the beginning, even though it failed the last time. And you're going to prove once again that if you have no feel for the game of football, that you're not going to get talent. And you're all going to be saying, oh, Dorsey did this and Dorsey did that. But when all is said and done, he's going to hit on more picks than these bozos will. You watch.
Yeah.
Because they overthink everything and they have no feel for the game. Meanwhile, the Ravens are picking guys who, it's like, oh, I don't know if he really grades out to the NFL, and they become really, they end up really good players. And, we don't have a history of ragweed, but it could be. We've been getting so much rain here. God only knows what's growing. So, yeah, it's like headache like you wouldn't believe. That's like the kind of headache that your girlfriend tells you she has all the time.
No,
that's only you.
Oh. Thank you. Daniel, thank you. I love doing the show, and I have now for 17 years. I think that it's important because fans, look, I mean, if you really look at this from a perspective of where we're at, as far as society-wise, we're looking for football and sports to kind of take our mind.
Oh my God, Joe Burrow just got a touchdown. He just ran the ball about 30 yards. We're dead next week.
Nice.
But, I know that we're looking for sports to take our mind off of the drudgery of what life has become every day. But the fact of the matter is you can't count on the Cleveland Browns or football or college football. You only can count on yourself and to do the best you can. For me, doing the program is fun and I have a good time. And, the tough part is getting exercise in during all of this because when it's 108 degrees outside in Florida, you can't really walk outside.
Wow. Burrow just did a 23-yard run. The Chargers opened up this big gaping hole right down the middle, and he kind of like strolled in.
Nice.
That big gaping hole reminds me of Jenna Jameson.
Gaping hole. Big gaping hole.
Damn.
I know that was graphic. I hope that was graphic enough for you. Mark Ross is saying, I'm used to being embarrassed for being a Browns fan. Yeah.
Hey, every team's got to deal with the COVID stuff, so
we're
just a bad organization, aren't we?
The Ravens scored 38 points on and all this.
But he's kind of right, though. I mean, this is a completely new system that they're doing, and they really had no time to really iron out the kinks necessarily. And but the problem is, it's like we've seen these same results for so many years now that people are just going to assume the latter. So it's kind of that direction.
Hi, Oliver. The first time I've seen your name, and I say hi to all of the people who actually have the time to tune into a program like this. I'm appreciative. I mean, this is what makes it worthwhile. I don't make a dime from doing this. We don't promote this, advertise it, or anything. This
Forbidden donut.
Bunch of
very
fans,
storied show, must I say.
We appreciate you, fella.
You know what was amazing? Burrow's 23-yard run was underground. If you think about it, it'll come to you.
Burrowed in.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. And of course, the Brady fans are going crazy. Marsha and Jen and
Greg.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg was stooping Florence Henderson. For God's sakes.
I know that's really wrong. I mean, Mom, I'm coming. Yeah.
Imagine if you knew that at the time.
No, wouldn't that be great? It was like, Greg, dinner. I'm coming, Mom. I'm coming. And you see the people backstage going. People at home wouldn't get it, but people on the set, they sure watched it. It really is. Everyone can't suck. The facts, I think, are that when the system keeps changing, it's impossible. How can you look good in 4 different systems?
Right.
It doesn't work that way. So, be that what it may. It's and I would.
Everybody's dead.
statistics and say, hey, look at the statistics. This game, statistics had nothing to do with it. It's all talent and preparation and knowledge of the system. It's like one team is winging it and a hope and a prayer, and the other team is solid and knows what it's doing. The Ravens are going to win a lot of football games this year, and it's only going to get harder for teams like Cleveland to beat them.
I picked them to go 13-3. So
yeah.
Head east on Minnesota 36.
So, Cody, good to see you. Cody's been around for a long time and another great long-term viewer of the program. They'll be better in 2021, Shirley. And don't call me Shirley. I don't. I wish I could tell you that things are going to be just fine. What I would like to see is whether he can get the guys working hard and really knuckling down and gutting out some football games rather than just giving up. I want to see if he can develop a sharper edge to this.
Yeah, we need Leslie Nielsen to come through your double doors back there. Good luck to both of you. We're all counting on you.
Yeah. So this is, I said 37-13,
Hey, Rox almost had the Browns points right, and for the most part, I had until the last touchdown, I had the fucking Ravens points right. So we weren't too far off.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knew. And when I went on Cleveland.com, all the predictions were just as lopsided. Nobody thought the Browns had a chance in this game. There just isn't the opportunity. And, what will happen is what's happening to the Cleveland Indians right now is their lack of ability to hit the ball is showing, and the pitchers have broken. I mean, it's at a point now where they know they're not going to get any run support, so their season is basically over with. They're not even right now after today's loss, which is happening. They are not even going to be one of the playoff teams.
Well, I think they're the 7th seed right at the moment, but if they obviously if they keep on this losing streak, it's what it is.
So. I wish I could tell everybody that life's going to get all groovier and better, but the fact is...
No, we're all going to die. Everybody's dead.
I'm going to sit and find out where the injuries lie, and God only knows what's going to happen on Thursday, but it's going to be embarrassing. It's the only football game that's going to be broadcast, so everyone...
Oh, my God.
If we lose to Joe Burrow...
Around the world, it's going to be broadcast. We'll be on
and
here
if we lose to Joe
morning.
fucking Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, it is going to be absolutely embarrassing, and it's going to be the kind of that will set this organization back even more. And that will be kind of what I would call the foreshadowing for a 3-13 season. Really, I mean,
the game is in Cleveland.
Bengals had
I believe it is.
What was the question?
Game's in Cleveland.
Yeah, as if it matters. Yeah. The other thing is that Cincinnati's had no time to install anything, and they got a rookie quarterback who's never even played in the league before. So there are no excuses when you put the cleats on. You play the goddamn game. There are no excuses. And if you lose to that team, then with veteran players, the payroll that you have is totally unacceptable.
And see, that was my question earlier. I mean, you have all this talent on this team, well-paid talent, and you're gonna come out here Thursday and lose to Joe Burrow?
Yeah, if that happens, it's going to be a foreshadowing of a very, very bad season, and there's no reason it should happen. But look, I mean, psychologically, if the Bengals strike first, if the Bengals hang in late, this team is psychologically fragile, and they do not play well under the pinch. What happens if it comes down to a field goal at the end? We got weak-minded people who aren't going to be able to get the job done. So it's tough.
Well, we have no linebackers and we have no secondary. I mean, is Taki, would he start on any other team in the league? I mean, come on.
And a total non-entity. And I'll say this. Go ahead.
Is it really that, or do these guys just don't know what they're doing? And I hate to bring this up because I
Probably
watched
both.
I watched the Tennessee Titans, and the average fan could not name a single player from that defense. But it's a great defense.
Right. Well, there's cohesion, yeah.
Cohesion and a will to make plays, or will to execute plays. And you watch guys like Carl Joseph, 23, who that guy just kept getting his ass whooped all day. And you can just see these guys don't know exactly what they're doing. The whole team is confused, man. That's not good at all. They don't even show willingness to even try.
I'll respond here to the comment on the screen. Why would you hell in Olumba get rid of a cornerback who broke up everything in camp? Well, it isn't hard to break up anything between Baker Mayfield and these receivers. Haven't you gotten that through your head yet?
Exactly.
I mean, they're not good. I mean, and then a guy like Olumba would look good in breaking up passes is only a further indication that the receivers, the quarterbacks are not on the same page, and they're not able to get separation even from second and third line players, let alone league starters. So,
that's probably Hiram, man.
Yeah, it's foolish. What it is foolishness. And practicing against one another means nothing. When you get out on the field with real NFL players, this is what happened. So as long as y'all know that, then that's what happened. I'm done. I'm finished. I think we said everything that we needed to say. Becky Chuck finally is laughing their ass off. All right, good. Yeah, you can't practice. Say what?
Are you doing anything Thursday after the game or during halftime?
Yeah, well, I'm going to do something at halftime, and if the game is like going the way I'm afraid it's going to go, no, I'm not going to stay and waste my time. But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I understand, man. It was good talking to y'all. We'll see y'all hopefully Thursday.
DG, I'll definitely be around for the halftime part, and we'll see the post game. Depends how long the game goes on, but what the hell? What else do I have to do? As long as I can get myself calm and go to sleep, that's all that matters.
All right, guys, take care.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this first Browns postseason show, and I hope it was everything that you expected. And everybody. Bronx.
Kiss the hoof.
Kiss the hoof. There you go. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow on Moohead Radio to really talk more about the fallout and some of the injuries that occurred in the game and what might be lying ahead on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. And until tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads.